Success is not a casual visitor. It does not stroll into your life by accident, nor does it arrive as a gift from luck or chance. Success is a deliberate creation, a product of an unshakable obsession, a burning desire that consumes the heart and governs the mind. Until success becomes the very air you breathe, until it becomes your central thought upon waking, and your final thought before resting, you will never know its fullness. For the secret lies not in merely wishing for success, but in being obsessed with it to the point that every fiber of your being is tuned toward its attainment. Consider the nature of obsession. Obsession is intensity magnified. It is desire multiplied by persistence. It is the invisible fire that pushes a person to remain standing when others have surrendered to weariness. To be obsessed with success is to be possessed by a vision so compelling that all distractions fade into the background. It means that your goals are no longer optional desires but sacred duties. When you are obsessed, you no longer bargain with excuses or debate with hesitation. Instead, you march forward with an unwavering determination that cannot be broken by failure, delay, or criticism. The person who drifts casually in life, dabbling in opportunities, wishing vaguely for improvement, will forever remain in mediocrity. The world does not reward the casual, it crowns only the committed. And commitment is born from obsession. You cannot wish for greatness and expect to touch it. You must hunger for it as a starving man hungers for bread, as a drowning man gasps for air. That is the kind of desire that reshapes destinies. You may ask, how does one cultivate such an obsession? It begins with clarity of purpose. A mind without a definite purpose is like a ship without a compass, tossed aimlessly upon the waves of circumstance. The first requirement is to decide, with absolute conviction, what success means to you. It is not enough to say, I want wealth, or I want happiness. These are vague shadows, not clear targets. You must define it. How much wealth? What form of happiness? What achievements? What contributions? What legacy you desire to leave? Write it, speak it, visualize it until it is etched so deeply in your subconscious that you cannot forget it even if you tried. Once you have defined your purpose, you must fan it into a burning desire. This is done by surrounding your mind with the image of success at all times. Read about those who have achieved it. Rehearse your own victories in imagination, and speak words of affirmation that align your mind with the vision. Desire grows stronger through attention, and the more you dwell on success, the more it grips you. Soon the obsession will take root. You will find yourself thinking of opportunities at odd hours, feeling restless until you are moving closer to your goal, and refusing to tolerate anything that does not serve your vision. But obsession alone is not enough. Obsession without action is mere fantasy. You must convert desire into discipline, and discipline into persistent effort. The difference between a dreamer and an achiever is work. Those who are obsessed with success work while others sleep, study while others gossip, and push forward while others make excuses. They are not deterred by the first failure, nor the 10th, nor the 100th, for they know that failure is not defeat but instruction, each setback a teacher pointing out a correction, each disappointment a test of endurance. There is a law that governs success, and it is this: the universe yields to persistence backed by obsession. The person who refuses to be denied will, in time, carve open the doors of opportunity that once seemed sealed shut. History proves this truth. Every great invention, every monumental achievement, every empire of wealth was once an idea ridiculed by others, but pursued obsessively by its creator until it became reality. Do not think obsession is dangerous. What is dangerous is mediocrity. What is dangerous is to drift through life half awake, never testing the limits of your potential, never daring to live at the edge of your possibilities. Success demands intensity, yes, but it rewards that intensity with power, freedom, and fulfillment. The world belongs not to the lukewarm, but to those who burn with passion. Guard your obsession carefully, for it is fragile in its early stages. The voices of doubt will surround you. Friends may call you unreasonable. Family may urge you to be more realistic. Society may mock your determination, but remember this: every person who changed the course of history was first laughed at, resisted, or misunderstood. The majority will always discourage the minority who dares to dream greatly. If you surrender to their opinions, you will share their fate, an existence of quiet resignation. But if you persist in your obsession, one day the same voices that doubted you will marvel at your achievement. Feed your obsession daily. Begin every morning by reminding yourself of your purpose. Review your goals, visualize them vividly, and declare them aloud with confidence. Throughout the day, discipline your mind to reject distractions. The world is full of trivial amusements designed to steal your focus, but an obsessed person does not surrender to them. He or she uses every hour as an investment toward the vision. Even in rest, the obsessed mind is preparing, strategizing, refining. Obsessed individuals live differently. They rise earlier, they study longer, they practice harder. They are not satisfied with average results. They refuse to accept the notion of impossibility. Their obsession whispers to them constantly, "There is a way, find it." And because they refuse to give up searching, they inevitably discover paths that others miss. Let me remind you that obsession is not blind stubbornness. True obsession with success is intelligent. It studies, it adapts, it seeks wisdom. The obsessed achiever does not merely crash into obstacles repeatedly. He learns, refines, and tries again with greater precision. The fire of obsession provides the fuel, but knowledge provides the direction. Combine both and you are unstoppable. The most extraordinary truth about obsession is that it awakens powers within you that you did not know existed. When the mind is consumed with a definite purpose, it begins to attract ideas, resources, and people that align with its aim. This is not superstition, it is a law of life. You become a magnet for opportunities because obsession sharpens your focus and makes you see openings where others see none. It breeds courage because your fear of failure becomes smaller than your hunger for success. It breeds endurance because the vision of the goal sustains you when the body is tired. Ask yourself this: what is the alternative to obsession? Is it comfort? Comfort is temporary. Is it safety? Safety is an illusion. The world changes constantly, and those who seek safety above growth are left behind. The only true security lies in mastering your own potential, and mastery requires obsession. If you desire wealth, then you must be obsessed with creating value, with mastering your craft, with serving others at a level so high that they cannot ignore you. If you desire influence, you must be obsessed with developing your character, your wisdom, your ability to lead and inspire. If you desire happiness, you must be obsessed with growth, contribution, and living true to your purpose. Every form of success requires this one ingredient, obsession. Let your obsession be greater than your excuses. Excuses are the language of the weak, but obsession speaks in the language of action. Excuses postpone dreams, but obsession accelerates them. Excuses satisfy the present, but rob the future, while obsession sacrifices the present to create a future beyond imagination. Yes, obsession will cost you. It will cost you sleep at times, comfort at others, and the approval of those who live without vision. But what you gain in exchange is priceless. You gain mastery of yourself. You gain the thrill of achievement. You gain the freedom of knowing that you have lived fully, without compromise, without surrender to mediocrity. There will come a day, if you live this way, when you will look back upon your life and realize that every sacrifice was worth it. The nights of study, the years of persistence, the countless rejections, all were but stepping stones to your destiny. The obsession that once seemed heavy will then be seen as the greatest gift you ever embraced, for it carried you to heights that ordinary desire could never reach. Therefore, decide today to kindle within yourself this sacred fire. Refuse to settle for half-hearted ambition. Choose obsession not as a temporary emotion, but as a way of life. Let your goals become the heartbeat of your existence. Let your purpose saturate every thought, every action, every plan, and when you do, you will find that success is no longer a distant dream, but an inevitable reality. Success is not a destination that politely waits for you to arrive. It is a prize that must be pursued with relentless intensity, day after day, without the slightest hint of surrender. The truth is simple. Success does not respond to casual effort. It responds only to obsession. When you study the lives of those who have reached the highest peaks, you will notice a common thread. They thought about their goals morning, noon, and night. Their minds were saturated with vision, their spirits on fire with determination. They lived in the future they desired until the present was forced to bow to it. That is the secret of the obsessed. To live in obsession is to transform every setback into fuel. It means that the words failure or quit are erased from your vocabulary. Each disappointment becomes a lesson, each delay a test, and each obstacle a stepping stone. The obsessed do not mourn over mistakes. They examine them, learn from them, and grow sharper because of them. The ordinary person gives up after rejection, but the obsessed individual grows hungrier. The ordinary person feels defeated by one barrier, but the obsessed individual grows stronger with each barrier overcome. And it is this difference, this refusal to bow down, that separates the successful from the forgotten. An obsession with success transforms time into treasure. The one who is obsessed does not waste hours in idle gossip, endless distraction, or the pursuit of meaningless amusement. Every hour is an investment, every action a deposit into the account of destiny. While others complain about their lack of progress, the obsessed are too busy working, too busy building, too busy moving forward to even notice the noise. And in due time, that accumulation of disciplined effort creates a momentum that cannot be stopped. There is an invisible energy that surrounds those who are obsessed with their purpose. It draws opportunities, allies, and resources in ways that often seem miraculous. But there is nothing mystical about it. This energy is focus, determination, and persistence combined. It is the undeniable truth that when a human being dedicates themselves wholly to a goal, the world eventually bends to that level of commitment. History has proven it, and your own life will prove it if you dare to live this way. The person obsessed with success is not reckless, but they are unshakable. They are willing to adapt strategies, but never the vision. They will bend their methods, but never their mission. They may fall to their knees, but they will rise again every single time, and because they refuse to stop, they eventually become unstoppable. You must ask yourself what kind of life you wish to live. One of drifting, waiting, hoping that fortune will favor you by accident, or one of deliberate creation, where every day you rise with a burning fire to move closer to the destiny you have chosen. If you choose the latter, then you must embrace obsession. For without it, the world's distractions will rob you of focus, its doubts will weaken your resolve, and its challenges will cause you to retreat. But with obsession, none of these can touch you. With obsession, your heart beats in rhythm with your destiny, and your life becomes a masterpiece shaped by your own hands. So let the fire consume you, let it guide you, strengthen you, and carry you when nothing else can. Let success become not merely a dream, but an obsession so great that the universe itself cannot deny you. For in the end, it is not talent, nor luck, nor circumstance that decides greatness. It is the will to be obsessed until success is no longer a possibility, but an inevitability. Success is not a destination that politely waits for you to arrive. It is a prize that must be pursued with relentless intensity, day after day, without the slightest hint of surrender.
The truth is simple. Success does not respond to casual effort, it responds only to obsession. When you study the lives of those who have reached the highest peaks, you will notice a common thread. They thought about their goals morning, noon, and night. Their minds were saturated with vision, their spirits on fire with determination. They lived in the future they desired until the present was forced to bow to it. That is the secret of the obsessed. To live in obsession is to transform every setback into fuel. It means that the words failure or quit are erased from your vocabulary. Each disappointment becomes a lesson, each delay a test, and each obstacle a stepping stone. The obsessed do not mourn over mistakes. They examine them, learn from them, and grow sharper because of them. The ordinary person gives up after rejection, but the obsessed individual grows hungrier. The ordinary person feels defeated by one barrier, but the obsessed individual grows stronger with each barrier overcome. And it is this difference, this refusal to bow down, that separates the successful from the forgotten. An obsession with success transforms time into treasure. The one who is obsessed does not waste hours in idle gossip, endless distraction, or the pursuit of meaningless amusement. Every hour is an investment, every action a deposit into the account of destiny. While others complain about their lack of progress, the obsessed are too busy working, too busy building, too busy moving forward to even notice the noise. And in due time, that accumulation of disciplined effort creates a momentum that cannot be stopped. There is an invisible energy that surrounds those who are obsessed with their purpose. It draws opportunities, allies, and resources in ways that often seem miraculous. But there is nothing mystical about it. This energy is focus, determination, and persistence combined. It is the undeniable truth that when a human being dedicates themselves wholly to a goal, the world eventually bends to that level of commitment. History has proven it, and your own life will prove it if you dare to live this way. The person obsessed with success is not reckless, but they are unshakable. They are willing to adapt strategies, but never the vision. They will bend their methods, but never their mission. They may fall to their knees, but they will rise again every single time, and because they refuse to stop, they eventually become unstoppable. You must ask yourself what kind of life you wish to live. One of drifting, waiting, hoping that fortune will favor you by accident, or one of deliberate creation, where every day you rise with a burning fire to move closer to the destiny you have chosen. If you choose the latter, then you must embrace obsession, for without it, the world's distractions will rob you of focus, its doubts will weaken your resolve, and its challenges will cause you to retreat. But with obsession, none of these can touch you. With obsession, your heart beats in rhythm with your destiny, and your life becomes a masterpiece shaped by your own hands. So let the fire consume you, let it guide you, strengthen you, and carry you when nothing else can. Let success become not merely a dream, but an obsession so great that the universe itself cannot deny you. For in the end, it is not talent, nor luck, nor circumstance that decides greatness. It is the will to be obsessed until success is no longer a possibility, but an inevitability. To be obsessed with success is to be alive in a way most people will never understand. It means that you wake up with a mission so strong that you cannot waste a moment in idleness. You no longer live by the clock, you live by the vision. The hours of the day become your allies, not your enemies, because you have filled them with purpose. Every second is used as a tool to carve the life you desire. People will call you extreme. They will say you are going too far. But what they cannot see is that your obsession is the very force that protects you from the disease of mediocrity.
They do not understand that while moderation has its place in health and pleasure, it has no place in the pursuit of greatness. The obsessed individual transforms adversity into opportunity. When doors are closed, they find windows. When windows are sealed, they carve tunnels, and when tunnels collapse, they dig again with bare hands if necessary. There is a rhythm to their determination, a music of persistence that plays louder than the noise of doubt. Others see roadblocks as dead ends, but the obsessed see them as detours, temporary diversions on the way to an inevitable destination. This mentality cannot be borrowed for a day or two. It must be lived, breathed, and embodied until it becomes who you are. Obsessed men and women are misunderstood because they live in the future, while others remain chained to the present. They speak of possibilities that sound impossible to the small-minded. They invest energy into dreams that others dismiss as foolish. But time always reveals the truth. What once looked like madness becomes genius when the vision materializes. What once seemed unrealistic becomes undeniable when results appear. The obsessed are not guided by approval, they are guided by destiny. There is also a beauty in obsession, for it simplifies life. Choices become clearer. The mind that is consumed with a goal no longer wrestles with trivial distractions. You do not ask, should I or shouldn't I? You ask only, will this move me closer to success? If the answer is yes, you act. If the answer is no, you dismiss it without regret. This clarity is a gift, and it belongs only to those who burn with an inner fire that cannot be extinguished, and do not think obsession robs you of joy. On the contrary, obsession gives you the deepest form of joy, the joy of progress, the joy of living on purpose, the joy of seeing your efforts bear fruit. There is no greater happiness than to look in the mirror and know you are becoming who you were meant to be. Ordinary pleasure is fleeting, but the satisfaction of achievement lasts a lifetime. So let your obsession grow until it is undeniable. Let it be the voice that whispers to you in silence, the force that pushes you through storms, the shield that protects you from surrender. For when you are obsessed with success, you are no longer a passive passenger in life. You become the captain of your fate, steering toward horizons others will never dare to chase. And in the end, when you stand at the height of what you have built, you will know that it was obsession, and only obsession, that carried you there. When you allow success to take over your heart and mind, you begin to see possibilities where others see limitations. The world suddenly looks different because you are tuned to opportunity, not to fear. Most people walk past open doors because their eyes are clouded with doubt and hesitation. But when you are obsessed, you are alert, alive, and always ready to act. You see what others miss, you hear what others ignore, and you move when others stand still. That difference, minute at first, becomes enormous over time. The obsessed do not wait for perfect conditions, they create them. They do not wait for permission, they grant it to themselves, and because of this, they make progress while others remain stuck in hesitation. The truth is that obsession is not just about action, it is about transformation. The more obsessed you become with success, the more your character evolves to match it. You develop habits that strengthen your will. You learn to command your thoughts instead of being ruled by them. You become disciplined with your time, precise in your choices, and unshakable in your commitment. Success is not something you chase outside yourself. It begins as an identity within. When you are obsessed, you are no longer dabbling in change. You are becoming change. But understand this, obsession will test you. There will be nights when you feel alone, days when progress seems invisible, and moments when quitting whispers louder than perseverance. Yet these moments are not signs of defeat. They are the crucibles in which greatness is forged. Fire does not destroy gold, it refines it. So it is with obsession. Every challenge that presses against you is shaping you into a version of yourself strong enough to carry the weight of success. Do not fear the test, embrace it. The more you are pressed, the more you are proven. There is an ancient truth that the mind becomes what it continually dwells upon. If you feed it failure, it will grow weak. If you feed it excuses, it will become lazy. But if you feed it visions of success, if you nourish it daily with belief and effort, it will transform into a furnace of unstoppable power. An obsessed mind is a focused mind, and a focused mind has no room for failure. It bends reality until it matches the vision held within. Look at the stories written across history. Every towering achievement, every great discovery, every empire of wealth and influence was built by men and women who refused to let go of their vision. They were laughed at, doubted, and resisted, yet their obsession was stronger than ridicule, stronger than fear, stronger than failure. Their names live on because their obsession gave birth to legacies that time itself could not erase. And so it must be with you. Let your desire burn until it becomes your compass. Let your purpose guide every decision, every action, every sacrifice. Success is not for those who want it lightly. It is for those who want it desperately, who cannot sleep without it, who cannot imagine life without chasing it. When you reach that state, when success becomes not only your ambition, but your obsession, you become unstoppable. Obsession with success is not simply about working harder. It is about becoming so deeply aligned with your purpose that every choice, every thought, every step you take is naturally directed toward achievement. When obsession takes root in your heart, procrastination dies, laziness has no place to hide, doubt becomes too small to stop you. You no longer need constant reminders or external motivation because the drive is internal, unstoppable, and constant. Success becomes less of a goal and more of a natural outcome of the person you are becoming. This transformation is powerful because once you embody obsession, you can never return to the life of indifference that once held you down. To live with obsession is to rewrite the rules of what is possible. You no longer see walls. You see ladders. You no longer see defeat. You see delayed triumph. Every obstacle becomes raw material to build strength. Every hardship becomes training for the greater victories ahead. The average person looks at challenge and asks, "Why me?" The obsessed person looks at challenge and declares, "Because this is preparing me for what is mine." That difference in mindset is the line that separates those who surrender from those who conquer. The obsessed individual carries an aura that others cannot deny. When you meet such a person, you feel their energy. Their words carry weight because they come from conviction, not from empty wishing. Their actions inspire because they do not merely talk about dreams, they embody them. The obsessed ignite others, even unintentionally, because the fire within them is so fierce it spreads to those around them. This is why leaders are born from obsession. Influence is not gifted. It is earned through an unrelenting pursuit of vision, but obsession is not reckless passion. It is disciplined fire. It is not chaos but order. It is not blind pursuit but strategic persistence. An obsessed individual does not scatter their energy in every direction. They channel it with laser precision. They know exactly what they want and move directly toward it, cutting away distractions, removing toxic influences, and dedicating themselves to mastery. Their life is stripped down to essentials: purpose, action, growth, persistence. That is why they rise above those who dabble. In the end, obsession with success is about living at the highest vibration of purpose. It is about refusing to exist in shadows when you were meant for light. It is about walking into each day with an unstoppable spirit, knowing that no matter what happens, loss, delay, resistance, you will not be broken, you will not be denied, you will not stop. And when the day comes that the world finally recognizes your achievements, you will know it was not luck, not chance, not accident.
It was obsession, burning, driving, and guiding you every step of the way. Success is not reserved for the few who are born lucky or privileged. It is reserved for the few who choose to be relentless, who choose to live with purpose so fierce that nothing can pull them away from it. To be obsessed with success is to live with a fire that refuses to be extinguished, a vision that refuses to be silenced, and a determination that refuses to bow. When you carry this obsession in your heart, you transform every obstacle into fuel, every failure into a lesson, and every delay into preparation. The world will test you, challenge you, and doubt you, but your obsession will keep you moving when everything else tells you to stop. So commit yourself fully, refuse to settle. Allow success to be the thought that shapes your days and the energy that drives your nights. Let it become the rhythm of your existence, the pulse of your every decision, the reason behind your every effort. When you live this way, success is no longer uncertain. It is inevitable. And when that day comes, you will stand not only as one who dreamed, but as one who dared, endured, and triumphed, because you were bold enough to be obsessed with success.